We function like a computer. And every time we get up in the morning, by default, we configure ourselves in a certain way. We configure ourselves to feel ourselves as an individual when we would have the option to feel like the all. We configure ourselves to push, to try to make things happen, and to believe that if we push, things will happen. And we also configure ourselves to be stuck in our mind and not be present in the moment. This configuration, which now happens by default every time we wake up in the morning, is something that our education configured for us. Because when we were little, we were not like that. But all of our education and what we got from our family, from school, and from life itself has set us up to be like this. Unlike a computer, we don't have a menu where we can go and click and change the setting. So the only way to change our configuration is by doing it. By doing the opposite from the configuration that we have by default. Our default configuration is that every time we wake up, we construct ourselves as an individual with a separate name, separate from everyone else. And what we need to do then is get up and not let this individual arise. Not let Luis or Javi be created. And instead, get up and before this computer starts setting up the individual, stop it. And remain there for some time. And in this way we're changing the default configuration, overriding it and configuring ourselves as a much wider kind of being, and we make ourselves wider and wider until there comes a point where the default configuration as an individual goes away, and by default we just are a unique universal being which is everywhere and which sustains all that we call world. And similarly, this feeling we usually have that we need to push to make things happen, and we don't even realize that we're doing it because we're so used to it. We're so used to push all the time, it becomes normal, it becomes our default way of being. So first thing we need to do is to pay attention, to notice this sensation within us, which projects energy to try to make things happen, and relax that. Relax it. Every time we feel this, every time we have the chance, feel it and let it relax. That's what is called surrendering. Allow things to be as they are. Because whether we push or not, the same thing will happen. More so, things will come out better if we don't push. And then, this default configuration we have, which makes us stay stuck in our mind and not present. As we walk in the street, we're thinking about something. Even as we are watching TV, we're not actually watching TV. We're watching TV and thinking about things, imagining some other things, wondering what we might do tomorrow. So this, by default, is a configuration that we have set up, and now we need to reconfigure this. And how do we do that? By doing the opposite. By making a deliberate effort to be present, to walk along the street, walking on the street, to look at things and see things without relating them to other things, without seeing one thing reminds you of another thing and then gets you to think about what we'll do tomorrow about that thing. Just see it. See people, see the garbage can, see the clouds, just see. And by doing this, we are reconfiguring our computer so that by default we are not this individual, we are not pushing things, and we are present in every situation. It's this easy.